Next Friday afternoon, 4 to 6. Please come and join us and celebrate the 70th anniversary of the Pelican Bay Art Association.
Yay.
So this is, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. We look forward to seeing you all next Friday afternoon. So, on the slate for November, as far as workshops go. So tomorrow, our own Bruce Johnson is hosting a workshop on how to take portraits. So I don't know about you guys, but I love to get pictures of my grandkids. And my daughter goes to somebody and pays them to take the portrait. I think it would be a lot more fun to learn how to do it yourself. So come and join Bruce's class tomorrow. If you haven't registered yet, we can register you, no problem. So come out for that. And then November 13th, this wonderful lady is hosting the Mad Hatter Tea Party. So we're going to make headdresses, whimsical headdresses, and have a tea party.
Yes.
So we get to play.
And there's one that I've made over on the wall there, so if you want to get an idea of what we're going to do, take a look.
And then on the following Sunday, the 16th, Bruce is doing another photography class. And this one's doing portraits outside, which I don't know about you, but I always get the sun in their face and you don't know who it is. It's a nice silhouette, but you haven't got a clue who that person is. So Bruce is going to help you take a good portrait outside. And then on Tuesday, November 18th, is our CAP, which is our children's art program, and we'll be doing wreath and treats. So if you know of any kiddos that would like to do that, let them know. These classes fill up really fast, so they need to register as soon as possible.
What is the wreath?
They're going to make Christmas wreaths.
Oh, wreaths.
Yes, wreaths. I know, it's hard to say. You'll have to go out the side door.
Oh, the side door.
Or that door. Yeah. Okay. Bruce, would you lock the door, please? Thank you. Okay, so now we're going to kick it off with my friend, Sharron Johnson, who does all this amazing work. So start off with Sharron. Tell us, where do you come from and how did you get to Brookings?
I consider myself an Oregonian. I was born in Corvallis, but I grew up in Pullman, Washington, and in the beautiful Palouse, but wheat fields as opposed to the coast and all the lush vegetation. So I moved here 3 years ago. Fortunately, my husband wanted to see the ocean, so instead of wheat fields too, because he's from Kansas. So we moved here, and I feel like I'm home.
Yeah. It is a very special place.
Yeah.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about your artistic journey. I believe you did some studying.
Yeah. So my undergraduate degree was in clay sculpture, 3D. Obviously, I'm not doing that right now. Anything that has to do with the earth, and obviously mud is, that I can get my hands into is what I'm interested in. I also went back when I heard a little voice say, "How are you going to make a living as an artist?" And got a fashion merchandising and visual display degree. And that's how I supported myself over the years, was store planning, visual display, all of that sort of thing. So creative, but not painting or whatever. So I also had my own jewelry business business, my own jewelry store for a long time before I started working for other people, and was working only in semi-precious stones and that sort of thing. So that's where my passion for sculpture in a small form kind of started.
Okay, that makes sense. But tell me a little bit about the store displays visual arts. Where did you do that?
I had my own business for a while doing just window displays and visual work for other businesses. So once a month I would go in and redo their displays and their windows and that sort of thing, which was great because I worked for like 10 days and then I'd take 20 days and wander around with my dog. You know, it was great. So I started doing that, and then ended up, most of my career I spent at Macy's. And I started out as a visual display person for them in one store. And from there worked my way up into a traveling store person. They send me out on remodels and all of that kind of thing to help them plan it and do all of that. I finally worked my way up into a level of what they call, you know how you get promoted to the point where you're incompetent? I can't remember what they call that. So I ended up managing people instead of things. So I was a store manager for many years at the end before I retired. I'm much better with stones and driftwood. So that's kind of my journey in terms of visual and all of that.
Fascinating. So what brought you to this particular form of jewelry?
Well, like I said, my undergraduate degree was in sculpture.
Right.
And when we moved here, I allowed myself to start thinking about my jewelry as a piece of sculpture, wearable art, as opposed to a product, which, you know, it is totally different. And I've always, like I said, been interested in anything outdoors, clay. I'm a backpacker. I've been collecting and picking up stones since I was little, you know, my pies. So I allowed myself to just start creating things that pleased me. And I have rocks all over my house. You know, who doesn't, right? Because it's so pleasing. And the ones on the beach, and you pick them up and they've rounded and they're magic. So I like mixing those with the semi-precious stones and the pearls.
So where do you get the pearls?
These pearls are all freshwater pearls that I actually got from a company in Tennessee, of all places.
Oh,
They're
okay.
freshwater, and Tennessee, if people don't know, has freshwater pearls in the Tennessee rivers are a thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so that's where these have come from. They're all natural colors. None of them are dyed or anything like that. They are cultured. So there's little pearl farms all over Tennessee rivers where they, you know, culture the.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's where they come from.
That's cool.
So
you
does
have,
somebody drill them? You buy them drilled? and
I
then
have
you
bought
just-
these drilled, yes. Most of the semi-precious stones and stuff, I have not done anything to those. Any of the other natural things you've seen, I have acorn caps and beach stones and all of those, the branches and twigs, those are all things that I have drilled or whatever. So.
do you have a favorite metal that you like to work with? Say copper to silver?
I love
What is it about copper that you like?
The the warmth of the color. And copper is very malleable. And it's very forgiving. So I can experiment and learn new things. I mean, there's so many skill sets when I started this that I didn't know how to do. And I just told myself, I can do this, I can figure this out. And copper was one of those that I kind of migrated to.
So where's your favorite place to go hunting for things?
I've discussed this with a number of, Sport Haven actually has really good rocks.
Yeah.
McVeigh Beach has good, driftwood has good seaweed, which dries, and it comes in like 5 different colors. You can find it in burgundy and peach and pink, and I use it in other things that I make, like the headdresses.
Oh, okay.
It dries and it's beautiful. So I like McVeigh Beach, I like Sport Haven, and did you just tell me Crissy Field was good? Somebody told me right now that Crissy Field is good for small little pieces of driftwood, but I haven't checked that out yet, so I'll have to do that.
Well, Fort Haven a couple of weeks ago had a lot of rocks. I went yesterday and it's all sand.
I know.
Yeah.
I know,
So,
it's true.
yeah, I feel you. So if you were to pick a piece, do you have a favorite?
I do, and it surprises me too.
You want me to move?
No, it's right over here. This little teeny piece right here. And the reason this is my favorite night right now is because it's the start of a new experiment. So, I learned how to drill the rocks underwater with diamond bits and all of that, and how to solder them so they stay on. That I had figured out. But I decided to make my own top, whatever. And so this is a new thing. Instead of using twigs on some of these that I've actually picked up off the ground, I used copper wire and sterling jewelry solder and experimented with wire wraps on the pearls. And it's not perfect, and it's exciting because now it says to me, oh, this is something that you want to explore. So right now, this is my favorite little piece. Because it kind of looks like twigs. Yeah.
I see it, it's beautiful.
I
was hoping you'd take one of the pieces like that one we were talking about, with the spiral in the middle.
This one?
And just start at the top and go, this is a piece that I made, this is a piece I bought, these are pearls I got here, I made this piece, and tell us a little about each of the pieces in it.
Okay.
That one or a different necklace if you
Yeah.
just know.
So this one up here, not only, so I like doing, it's assemblage work as opposed to taking things away. So when you're doing bronze sculpture or something, or carving, like Donna does this magical stuff with her sculpture. I don't know how she does that, how she sees that. She takes away stuff and ends up with this beautiful sculpture. I like to take things and put them together, so it's additive. So everything I've done, I start that way. This piece is acorn caps off of a tree. So that's something I've found on the ground.
And then how do you treat it? Do you
It is
coat it in something?
cleaned, obviously, and then the acorn caps, the wood, all of that stuff is oiled. And then after the oil has soaked in, especially the driftwood, because it can, just kind of explode. Then it has a satin varathane over it, which also protects your clothes or whatever. So that has 3 steps in the cleaning process. And then this is all acorn stuff in resin. So I've done that piece. All of these are obviously wire wraps, so I've put it together that way. This piece down here, I created these charms here with stained glass solder techniques, but converted it to making jewelry. So silver, solder, they make one specifically for jewelry. It's safer for you to wear, and it's also a little shinier and that sort of thing. So I heat it up, I use a soldering iron. These have a form, I've either used a wire, copper wire, some of them, and I've made a frame to control the melt. And then I stamp whatever design in it I want. And that's how these have all happened. These are copper wire that I have put in there in a spiral form and then soldered on top of those. So it just kind of, and then this bone piece I did purchase, but then I did the spiral in that also. The other pieces are pieces that the wood I have made. So it's a little bit of, yes.
Did you make your own stamps for the metal?
I have made some. My favorite stamp actually is one that I purchased. It's actually a paisley design, but when I use it, it ends up looking like kind of Chinese calligraphy, you know. I just am kind of abstract, so that particular one. But I have made my own stamps, and a lot of them, like this guy, I made the mold for that. So I've carved the face out of something else, and then made the mold, and then used the silver solder to create the final piece. So that's like a 3-step process.
And then you're tying knots in silk thread between all of them.
Every single thing is beaded on silk thread and knotted in between. So it makes the piece much more flexible, and it hangs better. If you're gonna, and it's also, well, if you're working with semi-precious stones and pearls, if it breaks, you don't want to lose all your beads. So that's another reason why with upper end pieces, they always knotted in between the beads. But I like the fact that it makes the necklace more flexible. Yeah. So.
Are all these pieces made in the last 3 years while you've been here working?
Oh, yeah. A lot of them have been made just in the last year, the last 8 months or so. I would say.
She was painting her house.
Yeah, everybody, in fact, earlier today I had on my painting pants, so, yeah, this piece, all of these, and these pieces, all of these have been in the last 7, 8 months, so, as I've experimented and tried new things, so most of them are good.
That tribal one is fabulous. I just absolutely love that.
Thank you. That's actually one of my earliest pieces before I started making my own
Great
components.
elements in it.
I do have a thing about hands, you know, and so that was a collection of some of my favorite things.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Why do you like hands?
Why do I like hands? It's the physical form of connection.
The reaching out.
The hand of Fatima, you know, in almost every religious doctrine or background or whatever, there's always something about hands. I think that's I like hands.
And almost all touch begins with hands.
Yes, you're absolutely right. So, and my hands, so my eyes and my hands, right? Those are like critical as my eyesight starts to go, that's a little disturbing. And my hands, because of course I also am an avid gardener and dig in the dirt and all that, so we can't be really creative about that, so, yeah.
How do you treat the seaweed? Do you dry it in like a dehydrator or just let it out? Do you clean it? What do you?
I just let it dry on its own. I just spread it out in whatever shape I want it to be in. And,
Do you wash it?
yeah, a little bit, because it has some bugs, but you know, I actually haven't really worried about it too much, because it seems to be okay. So I don't know if it's the salt water or whatever, but, I haven't.
What do you wash the other materials with?
I just use dish soap and water. I don't want to use, you know, anything else, and just make sure the bugs are kind of gone, if there are any. I don't know. My mother says I grew up eating dirt, so, and that's why I'm healthy. I don't really worry too much about that. Yeah.
More questions? Mallory?
Yeah.
So you've got a Mad Hatter headdress and tea party coming up, but aren't you, I heard from a reliable source that you're doing a 2-part jewelry workshop in December, is that right?
Oh, yes. I am. Yes.
So if you want to know more.
So if anybody wants to learn how to do any of this, the first class, we are going to learn the basics. So how to tie it off and attach the clasp, how to do the knotting, all of the basics you would need to know. Then the second class, I'm going to show you how to drill the stones underwater. We'll have a brief little class on wire wraps so that you can attach everything. And then I'll have a setup so that you can make your own charms. We'll have the soldering equipment and the wire and everything you need to do that, so that you can bring your treasures and create your own. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. And my headdress, there's a photograph over there you can probably look at. My husband did a wonderful portrait of my sisters and my mom and I. My grandmother was a milliner, and they always wore hats, and I kind of got started that way, and so I have all these Las Vegas showgirl things in boxes there. So I just wanted to bring them out so somebody could look at them, and we'll drink tea and have a great time. So that's the plan.
Great.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Questions? Sharron, thank you so much. Thank you. Your work.
Nice job.
Now, we better not see you wearing one of these that you made.
I'm gonna make them. You know it.
So by the spring and summer is my time frame. Oh, I'm in the book.